Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have a new video here for you. I wanted to really deal with this thing right here, and I'm going to call it, not what you see right here, I'm going to call it CV, just because I've been shadow banned quite a bit on different things I've been saying, 4 months actually. So I'm going to call this that you see in front of you CV. Why is that? Because C is the beginning of the first letter of word, and V is the first letter of the second word, and that's 322, which of course, like I've said before in my previous videos, skull and bones. Okay, and it is causing death on a massive scale. And this video is going to be about that. It's also how it's shown in iPad Goat 2. So without any further ado, I'm just going to go forward and talk about this for you. Okay, and it's also called the novel CV, okay, 2019 NCOV is the technical name for it. They just changed it, and I'm going to get into that as well, the WHO. But it's kind of crazy. All these numbers and imagery and messaging and all this stuff, it's really crazy. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. So notice how, if we go down here, I'm going to show you here, of course, NCOV looks like something. Okay, so you see the N, the C, the V. Like I've been saying in the past, Abraham Lincoln was CVN, and we have C, V, and N. And O is the 15th letter of the alphabet, and that ends up being 1 plus 5, which is 6. And then they look at 6 and 9 is the same, and then 9 is, I, or added to anything, it's nothing. Anytime you have 9, like I've shared many times, you add it to any number, and it makes the same number. So, for example, you add 9 to 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. You take away the 0, and you have 1 again. So anything you add 9 to, that number stays the same. So 9 is just a throwaway number when you're compressing numbers and things. This is how they do it. I'm just showing you how they do this stuff and revealing it, not what I do. I'm showing you what they do and the evil that they do behind their numbers and things in letters, and how they're trying to bring all this stuff to, coming to pass. So here we go. So that's not a coincidence, of course. There's so much more to this name, these different names, and I'm going to get into that. And if you remember from my previous videos, broke down an iPad Goat, how the woman that's holding the dead child, this is upside down, this is her burqa, it says cave, and of course cave is CAV. It's a version of CVN as well. They add up to be the same thing, of course, and like I've shared before, okay? Also, if you take the NCOV, the number or the lettering for the 2019-NCOV and backwards, just so you can see how this equates. V is 22, of course. O is 15. C is the third letter of the alphabet. N is the 14th letter of the alphabet. And then let's keep compressing these numbers here like they do. So 1 and 5. So you have 22, 1, 5, and 3 of the O and the C. 1 plus 5 plus 3 is 9. And then we have the 14. Okay, if you keep going, what's that? I've talked about this in my previous videos on February tax. See these numbers here? Let me go back here. See how this is right here? Look, 22, and then 9 is also 1, or you add 9 to any of these, and it ends up being the same. So see how this is right here? It's the same. These are all the same. It's really crazy. These things in iPad Go, these eggs, the Pepsi logo, the woman in iPad Goat, it's all the same. It's the same numbering. Okay, and they're showing this process of this birth through these different codes for this coronavirus. Okay, the CV, okay, is what I'm calling it. Okay, so anyway, so also, if you go back to this, backwards, novel CV is Levon. Okay, well, why is that anything? Well, let me show you. Levon is an elegant twist on Leon or Levi, or Levon harnesses the majesty and strength of a lion. It's another word for lion in a couple of different languages. Okay, so again, we have lion and corona, or crowning of the lion. Remember I said that I just showed you the Abraham Lincoln, and that's Lincoln is Lion King, Lincoln. Okay, and I've shared that with many videos, expressed that to you. And they've done all this imagery and all this symbolism for Lion Kings, and even the movie Lion King and everything is all about crowning the next lion, getting rid of the old Lion King, which is Trumple, and bringing the new Lion King, which, of course, there was a lot of, especially for the last Lion King that came out, that was all animated, computer animated. We had a lot of sympathetic actors that were part of, Stinky B.O.'s club, which is the former Prez, Mr. B.O. Okay, so, and I'll call him Stinky B.O. Okay. And then, of course, like I said, these equate to Lion King or Lincoln, and we have the corona being the crown of the Lion King. Okay, and then, of course, ultimately Jesus is the Lion of Judah, and he has a crown, and he's coming, and so they do this double meaning, of course, for both good and evil, but they're really focusing on the birth of their evil one, which is Stinky B.O. Okay, and what's Levon? There's a song by Elton John called Levon. Okay, and here's the first set of lyrics here. Levon wears his war wound like a crown. Ooh, imagine that. He calls his child Jesus because he likes the name. There's the equating it to Jesus, and he sends him to the finest school in town. I hope you can see this stuff. There's so many things in media that cross-reference each other and support each other in this overall narrative that they're putting forward. And there's a lot of things in here with this crown, and you have a lion's crown is in this song right here. This novel is Levon backwards, okay, which is in the CV, the virus, okay. And let me go to the next thing here. And then I did put in Corona, this CV. I'm just I want to say the word. I'm not used to doing this, speaking in code, but CV and anagram, exactly all the 11 words is carnivorous. I think that is a good characterization of what it's doing. It is, in a sense, certain viruses are very carnivorous, and this is very carnivorous. It's showing also the nature of what it's doing and what it's going to do. And I think how it also depicts to me a dragon. Of course, it comes from China, and this is their symbol. China's symbol is a dragon. If you ever go to Chinese restaurants, you see Chinese dragons everywhere. That is their symbol. And this dragon is carnivorous, of course. And then I think of Revelation 12, 3 through 4, and another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his head were 7 diadems. His tail swept down a third of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she bore her child, he might devour it. So I'm just saying this is maybe another, shadow of the dragon that's coming, that's going to be revealed in different ways. It's another version of that, how it's trying to devour the child before it's taken. It's devouring. It's carnivorous. It's from China. It's a dragon. Are you kidding me? There's just so much symbolism in even this virus. I don't think this is the ultimate dragon it's talking about. I think there's many things that can point to this, as far as also there will be signs in the heavens that are coming. But this is showing this is coming. This is all in the neighborhood. This is all in the time, roughly the time zone, or the time, the season or whatever of these things coming. Okay, so you can get an idea. For those who are waiting for this stuff to come, and those who don't know, this stuff's happening. It's on the way. All this stuff's on the way. And if you look at the CV, and this is just colored a little bit differently, as some different articles out there, but it just reminded me how much it looks like this. See, they look like kind of like little explosions in iPad Goat. So there's quite a bit more than that in here, and I'm going to show you some pretty crazy stuff in here. And I've shared how there's 236 is in the explosions. There's actually a face. There's a face that's half woman, half black man, which is Stinky B.O. in here. There's so many things going on in here I've explained in the past, but this is another aspect I'm going to talk about. Okay, so this, of course, this is, I believe represents, of course, the Chinese New Year, and I thought it was representative of something last year as well, because I did videos on it as well. But this is, I'm going to show you more how this is more concrete, representing Chinese New Year. So you have this going on, and as if you watch this, of course, he's grabbing the Asian girl's shoulder, and it's death, is the death figure. And she's an Asian girl, okay? And of course, there's a heart on her cheek, and I've been talking about heart, talking about Valentine's Day. It may be a kickoff to some things. I think some things happened at the Super Bowl. They may have released something possibly, and I'm going to talk about that. They may have released some kind of virus at that time there with all these massive amount of people. If you think about the kind of the parallel to that, the CV was released in Wuhan, which is where they have their biggest super lab. That's a massive coincidence? I don't think so. Their biggest super lab in China basically is in Wuhan, and then somehow the virus started there, and with all these millions of people quarantined, all these deaths and everything. I don't think so. It's not a massive coincidence. In fact, I'm going to talk about a senator that's basically calling it a weapon. So she's Asian, of course. So death on the Asian girl, and she's looking up. And then, of course, you have the military rolling in, and the military is pretty much taking complete control. In fact, the name Wuhan is, how they describe it is a makeup of Wuhan metropolis. Wu refers to the city of Wuchang in Chinese, which lies on the southern bank of Yangtze, while Han refers to the city of Hankou. And that's what they say, of course. So it's representing a particular conglomeration of cities, and it's two words put together. And so if you look at each of the two words actually in Chinese, the meaning in history, the Chinese for Wu, and that with that accent on the U, is military or martial. Okay, it's crazy. So this is showing martial law coming in, and that's what they're experiencing now. It's really, really horrible over there right now. And then Han is derived from Chinese character, which means resentment or hatred or regret. Now you can think of some military or martial law regret or hatred that has been in the past. I think of this depicting this of Mr. Tank Man and Tiananmen Square. Back in the 80s, I think it was. Was it 80s? I think it was 80 something. I can't remember now. I think it was 80s. And then Tiananmen Square. I remember that Tank Man standing in front of these tanks here. That's what that's showing there, but it's also equating it to this time frame right now. And this is all coming to pass right now. And, it's hard to find pictures of the military doing all the things they're doing. I've seen some video of them using bulldozers and bulldozing big amounts of dirt to cover the entrances and exits of cities and stuff. I didn't get any screenshots of that because it was on a particular video I saw, and I don't remember where I saw it. And I'm scouring the internet. I cannot find any more. But this is an example how these military, they're standing at these gates where people cannot go in or out. I mean, you seriously have some serious medical martial law going on. It's pretty crazy. It's far more than most people realize, even probably you realize. I've looked at it quite a bit. In fact, Beijing and Shanghai locked down as CV spreads uncontrolled. Uncontrolled. In fact, just recently, a few days ago, China quarantined Shenzhen for the first time completely. Now, that makes 400 million under quarantine, as CDC basically talks about. So that with adding Shenzhen, it makes it over 400 million people. Okay, and again, that's more than the whole population of the United States. If you can imagine all of the United States being quarantined, which may not be too far down the line, okay? And then also, medical experts in Shanghai confirm virus is transmitted by air, okay? And I'm going to show a few experts on here on this video. There's many experts with their models and everything. They're showing this is unstoppable. This won't be stopped. They're saying there's too many aspects to this that you can't stop this. And this is just to let you know. I'm warning you. I'm letting you know what's happening. I have no fear whatsoever. Jesus, I am in Christ. I am in Jesus. I'm in a sense afraid for many people and the people in China that are dealing with this and other countries that are starting to get infected. I'm concerned for them, of course, and it's absolutely unimaginable. It's unimaginable how this would affect your family and everything like that. If this is you're in the quarantine zone and everything, things are going on. My heart goes out to them. My prayers go out to all these people that they would come to the Lord and they would be, comforted in this massive fear. And I'm not bringing fear. I'm bringing hope. Jesus is your only answer for all of you. For the virus is coming to you. I believe it's coming to the whole world. And this is all the signs are showing with all the video. In fact, I'm going to have links in the description box of several websites and a couple experts and things that are going to that show videos, a couple websites that show videos that you can't not find anymore pretty much on YouTube. Okay, and actual videos that come out from China showing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm going to talk about some of that here, including this, where there's a video on one of these links I'm going to show, put in the description box, where there's thousands of bodies. You can see some of them right there, and they're going to be covered up in the dirt at night with bulldozers. This is really quite ghastly. I mean, this is really crazy, and we don't know where they're from yet or anything like that. That's what this is showing here, but this is all on video. Okay, there's so much more. There's so much things coming out of China that are not being pretty much promoted in any way, and they're being covered up and scrubbed from the internet in so many ways, especially YouTube and, you know, social media and things. Okay, and then I'll talk about again this death figure here. I'm gonna zoom into his face, okay, and like I've shown many times, there's clues hidden in iPad Goat all over the place. iPad Goat has predicted over 50 FF or false, the thing that you wave that's with your country, false FFs in that have happened. I mean, the only reason why is because the demons that run this world are working together, and they use something like iPad Goat to show ahead of time their plans. The demons that work in all these elites and all these world leaders and everybody that's in that club, whether they're Masons or Illuminati members or whatever it is, whatever club the Jesuits, I mean, whatever club they're in, they're moving the whole world into one world government, one world religion. Okay, and with one head, and that is Mr. Stinky D.O., the 44th Prez of the U.S. He will be revealed again very soon. And as I show many times in my videos, I have over 400 solid reasons why he is the Antichrist, without a doubt. There's nobody that comes even remotely close, and I've shown so many things. It's just off the charts. So anyway, if you zoom into his face here, look at his eye. Now, I turned it upside down so you can see right here there's a W. Okay, it's a W, and there's a U. Okay, and the U is kind of backwards right here with the tail going like this. They do this a lot of times. They'll show something backwards, and then part of the word is backwards also, so it just helps hide it even more. But then I'm going to show you again upside down and backwards. So this is just upside down. This is upside down and backwards. And then there's the U with the tail and the W. But just so you can see, this is a U. This is also another letter, which I'm going to get into. That's why they have this long tail on this thing. But it's Woo, W-U, and his eye right here. And then going across his face, there's other things. So let me show you. There's a couple different ways they're showing this on here. It's pretty crazy. I've seen this many times where they'll show several different ways something is the same message in one graphic, or two or three multiple ways. Okay, and so right here in his face right here, again, this U with a long tail, you have this thing with the long, it kind of goes up here like this, and it looks like an N, but it's also long right here. If you extend the tail of an N up like that, it's an H. So what we have here is Woo, W-U, and then right here is an H, and then this is an A. If you can see this, this is an A, because the bottom of the H is elongated, and it has the crossbar right here, and that is an A, and this is an N right here. So it looks just like this. This is an N, but it's also an H, because if you know, if you write an N, you just make a longer tail on top, whatever you call that, it's an H. But down here is a white H. So it's H-A-N, and I'm going to show this in a little bit better graphic here. So this is Woo, and then so there's Woo up here, and then right here is H-A as part of this, and then N. Wuhan. It's right there. Another way of looking at it is like this. So right in the eye, upside down is Woo, and then you turn this right side up, because the reason why this has a tail is because it's an H backwards up here. The nose, which I've seen many times, I knew this was an A. That was so obvious this was an A. I just couldn't equate it until recently. And then this is an N. Okay, like I said, this looks like an N, but then when you stretch it out and you go take the line all the way up, it's an H. And this is an N down here as well. So because see how it looks the same? This is an N. So however you slice it, this is upside down Woo, and then when it's right side up, the U, it looks like an N or an H. It's crazy. and then this is backwards H-A-N. So it's Wuhan or Wuhan right there. And that's one area. I have another spot where it says that as well. Okay, but that is death from Wuhan on Chinese New Year's, what it's showing. Okay, and like I've shown before, in this picture on the last set of videos, that when the flag is ripped and there's just one star, which I'm saying is Hawaii. You see this forms very quickly. I got it on pause on one frame. It is a heart. So look at that up there. That is a heart. See how this is kind of this darker shade here, and then this is lighter right here, and it's a perfect angle right here. Then angles in and angles around, makes a point right here. So basically it's making a heart. So whether that completely symbolizes Valentine's Day for sure, or just the month of February as a symbol for Valentine's Day, because it's right in the middle of February, and it's technically exactly in the middle. We actually have now, you look at the 14th and there's 28 days. It's exactly in the middle. And then in another way you look at it is this is a leap year and there's 29 days. When you go into the 14th day, and then that's like 14 and a half, and then you have 29 days, and it's exactly in the middle. So whether there's going to be some stuff that comes out exactly on Valentine's Day, or it just represents February, which most of the stuff's happening and it's starting to happen, I think is when it's really going to start happening in the United States. I'm going to show more evidence of that. Okay, and again, it breaks off here, but then, so right here, so as it rips off right here, then you can see what's at the base of the flagpole. What's at the base of the flagpole? What is right here in the snow? Now, my brother Jason made this discovery originally last year. Well, that's crazy. I just noticed this is looks like a plane here or something in this with the snow flooring. Huh? I don't know. Anyway. That's crazy. I haven't seen that before, or something. But in the snow is woo, okay? But the reason why I didn't put a lot of stock into it, even though I did see that, is because I saw that this right here has a tail that goes up. I can't use this pointer very well, all the way down to the bottom. But see how this middle of the U goes down like that? So this looks like a Y with the tail going out this way, or an upside down H with the, I just talked about an H, didn't I? Upside down H. Oh, wow. Imagine that. Here's another upside down H. But so here's woo in the snow. Okay. And then we show you upside down. This is the picture upside down. But first, it's not only woo right side up, but upside down. First, it's 9/11. Okay, that's hidden, encoded in there. And again, most of these scenes have several things going on. There's, I think, main themes, main messages that are hidden. Then there's ancillary things as well. It's multifaceted, multi-layered in many ways. But what's also here, I believe, is Han. Okay, so right here, let me just draw this out here. So this is the H. This is upside down was the W right here. Okay, but in the middle of the W, this thing goes like a tail, goes up like that. Okay, this goes up like that. So just like this right here. This is an H. It's an H with the top of it going like in a curve angle. And there's the H. There's the front of the H right here, and it's curved out right there. That's H. Okay, and then in the base of the H is the side of the A. And in this lighter area makes the most of the A, and it's curved. See how this H is curved? So the top of an A is curved. And then this pole, the flagpole, represents the crossbeam on the A, which is just crazy. So this is A. This pole also represents the tail of the N. This is an N. You see this here? This little tail that sticks up that is cut off on the end. I don't know what you call that on an end, but that makes the cutoff right here of this. Just imagine that makes this. This was what makes this right here. And then you draw out this, and of course at the end of an N, it's got a little flare a lot of times, so you can see it's an N. And then ultimately it's an upside down U. Anytime a lot of fonts and things, N is an upside down U. I mean, you literally, even with the little tail sometimes, or not with the tail or whatever, but especially with the tail, it's an upside down U. So that's the woo. And then upside down is N, and this is A, and this is Han. This is Han. So, and then I took this whole image right here, and I did it backwards. So again, The H is backwards now, but AN is forward. Or you go this way, the H is backwards. They do this a lot. They do one letter backwards, so it's harder to see, so it doesn't stick out as much. One letter backwards, and then these are forward. I take that back. H is forward. A is still forward, I guess, in a sense, but N is backward. But if I switch it this way, H is backward, then A is right, and then N is correct as well. But when you put this together, you have Wuhan. I mean, that is crazy. Hopefully you see this. I'm showing it, I'm proving it. That's what's hidden in there. And like I said, also right in here, upside down, is 9/11. Okay, so it's showing that Wuhan and this virus is a form of 9/11. And so that means it's coming here. And then also it means, like I showed you here, let me go back a little bit. That's the destruction of the United States and it's coming from Wuhan. And I showed you that about the timing of it is going to be, let me go back, about either Valentine's Day is when it's really going to kick off. We might start seeing some real big cases on Valentine's Day or the weekend of Valentine's Day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or it just represents February, and that's when this is kicking off here. And I'm going to show you some cases that just come up here in the last couple of days. So there you go again, 9/11. We have Han upside down, then we have complete Wuhan right there. It's right there. Okay, I'm telling you, whether you see it or not, it's right there. Okay, I'm telling you. Okay, and then if you take CV, and like I said, you scramble it, it was carnivorous, like I said, or it's an anagram. But also, if you just take Corona, Corona is an anagram of raccoon. Now, there's technically two ways to spell raccoon. One's with two C's and one's with one. And to prove that, National Geographic literally shows a picture of a raccoon and it's spelled with one C. Some people know that raccoon can be spelled with two C's, okay? But they're showing an example of one C, and because it matches completely to Corona as an anagram of Corona. Well, why is that important? Well, let me show you something that's really quite phenomenal, recently found. Okay, so and I knew there was some kind of correlation. It came to my mind. I remember when hearing about Wuhan, I just immediately, because I know of these guys in this group, I've never really listened to the music because I don't like swearing and disrespecting women and all this kind of stuff that they talk about, and a lot of swearing, a lot of really crude stuff that they say, and I don't like rap anyway. But I'm familiar with Wu-Tang, the Wu-Tang Clan. It's been around for a while in the 90s and everything. And I know, I literally when I thought of Wuhan, I thought of Wu-Tang. I mean, it was just crazy. And maybe that must be on purpose or somewhat of on purpose, because there's some hidden messaging. In fact, they sing about in several of their songs, I should say rap, they don't really sing, they really rap about many viruses many times. It's really quite staggering. I'm going to give you one example, but if you go to a lot of their songs, they talk about viruses a lot. It's really crazy. And there's Wu, and they're separated. Wu-Tang, Wu-Han. Like I said, there's two words. It's crazy. Okay, so in this one particular artist named GZA, there's an album called Liquid Swords, and it's a song called Shadowbox, and this will blow your mind. In fact, I didn't put the slide in here, but it was released on March 28th, which is 3/10 in a sense, because 2 + 8 is 10. Okay, 3/10, March 10th is when the movie Outbreak was released, March 10th, 1995, I think it was, so right around this time. And then the movie Contagion, if you watch the movie Contagion, which is pretty much the script for this whole Wuhan CV thing, okay, at the end, there's a note that the father leaves for the daughter, and it says, be ready at 8. And exactly 8 years later from when Contagion was released is when when this virus was pretty much on the scene. It's really crazy. And then what's more crazy about that, I just mentioned March 28th or March 10th which 2 + 8 is 10. So March 10th is when Outbreak, the movie, was released. March 10th in the movie Contagion was when they had inoculation or a vaccine for the virus in Contagion, and they made one for the public. The first people that they made it available to were people with the date of birth of March 10th. I mean, that's all a massive coincidence? I don't think so. So, but let me get into this. This is really bizarre, really bizarre. It'll blow your mind. What stuff's all pre-programmed in the way in the future, way in the past for the future. Again, this was in 1996. Now, part in that song it says, "Yo, Wu whole platoon is filled with raccoons." Remember, I said raccoon with one C, and they actually have it hyphenated in a lot of their in their lyrics. It's RAC hyphen COONS. So in a sense, you can put the C's together but it says, "Yo, Wu whole platoon is filled with raccoons." So you could also say the Wu whole platoon is filled with Corona or Coronas or whatever in a sense. And then there's one version when the guy's rapping, it sounds like he says, instead of whole, it sounds like Han. "Yo, Wuhan platoon is filled with Corona." It's crazy. There's far more than this. But you notice in English, the reason I put on here English gematria is 2784. And 2 plus 7 is 9, and 8 plus 4 is 12. 912. I've said this many times. 912 is encoded with many things about these attacks and things, and it just happens to add up to 912. Okay, and then check this out. This will blow your mind. This blew my mind in this lyrics. But first of all, like I said, Corona equals raccoon. And there's another part. It says in these lyrics, it says the year 2002, the battle's filled with the Wu. And again, another way of looking at 2002 is 2020 because there's a 2000 and there's a 2. In a way, they don't count zeros. They would in 2000, but they wouldn't count it in 20. So it could be looked at as 2002. 6 million devils just died from the bubonic flu. And this is a flu-like virus. It attacks the respiratory system and everything. Then check this out. This will blow your mind. So let me read this again. The year 2002, the battle's filled with the Wu. Again, Wuhan. 6 million devils just died for the bubonic flu or the Ebola virus under the reign of King Cyrus. Now this took the breath out of me. I mean, are you King Cyrus? Who's King Cyrus? Who are people referring to as King Cyrus? And this was in 1996. Okay, 1996, 24 years ago. This guy is referred to as King Cyrus. Oh, there he is as a rapper. Yeah, all these rappers loved him back then. And he was their buddy. And then they distanced themselves from him. Wow, that's crazy how this says streak of tsunamis, leopard attacks. Anyway, the king of bling. Anyway, and in fact, there's probably over 200 references to Trumple in many rap songs. I think it's over 200, something like that. But then once he said he was going to be president or running for president, then they distanced themselves and they talked about killing him and all that kind of stuff. Because they wanted to bring his popularity out there and make him an icon. Because this has all been predictably programmed on all of us. Okay? And then, of course, he is King Cyrus. This is the temple coin that they minted up here. This is the King Cyrus of Jewish history, and then they reckon him to King Cyrus. And this is in their freaking. I mean, I want to swear. I am blown away. This is in their lyrics. You better be seeing. Hopefully, you're seeing this. This is stunning. This is absolutely stunning. In the year 2002, which is 2020, the battle's filled with the Wu, the Wuhan CV. And like I said up here, it's raccoons is Corona. And the Ye whole platoon is filled with raccoons. I mean, that is a code for, and I was talking about Wu is the military or marshal. Ye whole platoon, which is military, or marshal, which is Wu, like I said, is filled with raccoons or Corona. 6 million devils just died for the bubonic flu. So this may be saying that 6 million people are going to die in the United States. And it's telling this ahead of time because this is their plans. It's quite crazy. Or the Ebola virus under the reign of King Cyrus. He wasn't called King Cyrus for back then. I mean, no one knew he was going to even be president for the most part. I mean, yeah, they talked about it in many places. I show how this predictably programmed, that he was predictably programmed as being the president, wanted to be president for 40 years almost. It's crazy. And even going back 60 years to all kinds of stuff. Anyway, So I'm just showing you this is all predictably programmed. They plan to attack the United States completely with this thing, is what I'm saying. Okay, and hopefully you see this. This is quite shocking, actually. When I really saw this, I could not believe this. Okay, there we are. He is compared to King Cyrus now, but that's only been within, how many years now? 4 or 5 years at the most. I mean, 4 years maybe, because he wasn't even president. He hasn't even been president for barely 3 years now. Okay, and that was 1996. Are you kidding me? If this doesn't prove that this is all manipulated and contrived and predictably programmed on people, I don't know what does. Okay, and now another thing I want to mention is pangolins are suspected as the potential corona CV host. World's most trafficked mammal may be involved in the Wuhan outbreak. Yeah, of course they're saying this because why is this important? This is the little pangolin. Okay, look at this thing. This all scaly and everything. It's crazy. But what is immediately this I thought of when I was talking about the Economist Magazine 2019. But how do these equate? Okay, so this is crazy. See that down here? These are pangolins right here. And I took the cover, and I've done this in my previous videos, and I decoded this, but right in the cover is when you take the cover and then you reverse it and put it right next to each other. This is the pit opening up. This is Molech, and you can see Molech being sacrificed, a child being sacrificed to Molech. And this is Molech, his eyes, his bull nose. Trump makes his ears, his horns right up here. It's right obvious. And then here's the pit opening up with the locust. This is a locust with mandibles, eyes. In fact, if you connect these little orange splotches, this is the legs and stuff. This is the thorax, head, thorax, and abdomen right here. There's all kinds of faces up and down this whole thing, upside down and right side up, as I've shown. And pangolin also equals 88, which has to do with the portal or the opening of the abyss or the changing of time. That's why in Back to the Future, Marty McFly goes through in the DeLorean 88 miles an hour to open up the portal to another time. Okay, and Trump is 88. Like I shared, Trump is all tied into all this. It's crazy. Okay, he's the president of this time. That's when this stuff's going to happen. Okay, not much longer. This guy's going to be taken out. Trump'll. So that's all in here. And like I've shared before in my previous videos, you see this, where this pangolin is, this is upside down with the cover and then the mirrored version of the cover, and they're side by side. It's the opening of the abyss. There's all kinds. There's another face right there with horns. There's face upon face upon face. This pangolin makes the eyes. See this eye here and this eye? This pangolin makes the eyes. There's a nose. There's a skull right here with eyes. There's another eye with the head right here. Looks almost like a baboon head with fangs right here. If you can see this whole face right here, kind of goes like this. I should have marked it out a little bit better, but I've already shared this before. And then that's not even it. There's so much more I've shared on my previous videos. But right here, if you look at right side up at the top, and then I just distorted the I forget what it was. It was a filter that showed what this really was. This was shown on some kind of parchment for reasons, because if you basically just change the hue and stuff, it looks like lava exploding, and this looks like when like the Bible says in Revelation 9, the abyss will open up, and then Abaddon or Apollyon, which is the king of the locust army. And this where he looks like a locust. Look at his face and these locust antenna coming up. It looks like an evil face right here, almost like it's a chest right here. It's really crazy. In fact, upside down, it's Hawaii exploding with lava. Like I said, this is meant to look like lava. And then there is an evil face with looks like Sauron from Lord of the Rings. See these white eyes, and these are mandibles right here. You see these mandibles right here? 2 sets of mandibles. Like he's the lord of the locusts. The face is in there. There's so many faces in here. If you look at this, face. It's like an evil face totem pole right here. And each face blends into another one. There's a serpent face right there, eye, mouth. There's so many faces in here like I've shown. There's all kinds of weird animal faces and stuff in these. Anyway, I'm showing you that pangolin has to do with signaling that the abyss is going to be opening soon, as well as, a marker for all this. And this is all in the predictive programming. Now, let me talk about the facts. Facts, look at what presently taking place in China. 22 cities locked down by the government order. Okay, and that's over 400 million people in those cities, unable to travel, unable to go to work, unable to shop for goods or even food. People being forcibly dragged out of their homes and put into quarantine centers. People being shot dead for refusing to go with police. I mean, there's all kinds of pictures of guys dressed in, with masks and the whole getup and machine guns and everything. It's all over. If you look, if you dig, if you find. And again, I'm going to have a couple websites in the description box that's going to show you a lot more videos and pictures of stuff, people dropping dead and everything. I mean, all these different crazy stuff that the media is not talking about for a reason until it starts to come here more. Homes and apartment buildings having steel bars welded to entrances to prevent occupants from going out and burning them down while they're inside. I mean, this is outrageous. This is absolutely outrageous. It really angers me what they're doing to people, and this is coming all over the world. I'm telling you, there's so many more infected countries. It's growing. We're going to have a group of like Japan and Taiwan and everything stuff. They're going to start going crazy like China was here probably this month. And we're just going to get started probably this month, which I'm going to show you. Stores empty of food, hundreds dropping dead on the streets, in stores and on roads, dead bodies being burned in long open trenches in the middle of Wuhan, China. And like I said, they're in one of the links, you're going to be able to see that video where they're taking at night bulldozers and they're bulldozing dirt over trenches of bodies. I mean, it's just crazy. Thousands of bodies. And they're saying that it's very, it's just reached 1,000 recently. Deaths, but it's thousands. It's thousands. And we know the people that know and been searching this out know that you at least add a zero to their numbers, if not 2 zeros. It's going crazy. I mean, how would you shut down 400 million people if you just have 1,000 or at that time hundreds dying? I mean, are you kidding? There's no way. It's bigger than what they're saying, and all the evidence and videos and everything shows that. Who is this guy? This guy is Republican Senator Tom Cotton. He's slamming the Chinese Communist Party over the CV outbreak. He suggests the deadly disease could be a man-made bioweapon that leaked from Wuhan Institute of Virology. He's challenging authorities to prove him wrong. Now, this even more supports what many people in the truth community are saying about this. This is a weapon. I mean, what are the chances of one of the biggest viral labs in the world in Wuhan, China is where it started? I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. And then I've said even this months and months ago, the perfect virus is the one that is you can't even detect, and then it can be transmitted person to person to person, or many people. I think they're saying one person can transfer it to 14 people or something like that before they even know they have it or anything. Things like that. There's just all these statistics about this that make this impossible to detect and to spread to many people before it's even detected at all. And then, of course, the reason why it's shown in iPad Goat at the Chinese New Year, because they planned this because they wanted it to be spread when massive amount of people are moving around in China for the New Year. It's their biggest holiday, and millions of people move around during this time. And I'm thinking to another equivalent, it might be they might have released this in the United States at the Super Bowl, because there's a good amount of people that went there and they're doing these ridiculous rituals, and I'm seeing this, and so they may have released it there, and a lot of these people are going back home, and then they're going to have all these cases start happening there. I mean, they are touching on this all over the place. I'm showing this. It's crazy. This guy right here, who's this guy? This is a video where he's talking to this lady about, who is this guy? Well, he is Professor Neil Ferguson, Vice Dean, Faculty of Medicine, Imperial College of London, estimates 50,000 new infections per day in China. And these are based on the information they have. These guys are experts. Okay, there's far more than just this guy. Like I've mentioned, we're talking about a senator, we're talking about many experts, and I'm just going to show you a few people, but show you this. And then the couple of key points of this video, the guy's talking about, this guy Neil Ferguson, Professor Neil Ferguson, 50,000 new cases a day in China, infections doubling every 5 days, death rate is still unknown, China is likely to peak in March, epidemic peak is still a month away, it will be very hard to control this epidemic, cases are always underestimated, death delays are as long as 3 weeks. It's crazy. Reported deaths outside China are not reassuring because of delays. We still don't know the full effects. Anyway, there's just so much to this I can get into. I'm not going to get into everything, of course. And then here's where the death toll, the Times really starts, New York Times really starts talking about it, reaching death toll because they have a milestone of surpassing SARS. Well, why is that? Well, you see here 811, which I've talked about the attack number 811 many, many times. 811 is 3 times in this article right here. So it's right there. SARS is 8, 11, 111181. Of course, it's coded in a different way. Also, 18 is 1 plus 8 is 9, so it's 1119 as well, which I said was one of the attack days. Okay, and then we have, wait just a second, let me do something real quick. Okay, I just had to make an adjustment because I'm getting some notifications here. And then in the number of infected that showed days ago is 3 plus 7 is 10, take away the 0 is 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, take away, which is 10, take away the 0 is 1. And then we have 8, 118, we have 11181, and then we have 811 right there. I mean, it's showing you this is the attack. This is one of the attacks. This is an attack code, by the way, and I've shown that many times in my videos. 811 is everywhere. In fact, that I just remembered, in the explosions behind the death figure, I said it's 236. Okay, it's all over. It's upside down, backwards in many ways, 236. And I've showed that in my previous videos. What's 236? Is 11.8 plus 11.8, or 118 plus 118 is 236. So it's showing twin attack codes of 118 added together. There's so much to this, and I can't even explain everything. I mean, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and then a few days later, it went to 1,018 deaths, which is at 118 again. And if you don't see this, so look at this. If you don't see this, they're either obvious, more obvious codes that are in these numbers, or less obvious codes. This is a more obvious code to people who are looking, 118. And then look at it in the deaths. So this is the total throughout all the countries that they're saying, which is way inadequate. It's at least a 0 or 2 zeros added to this. I'm confident. And then look at this, 9, and 7 plus 4 is 911. So you have 11.8 and 911 is right here. 7 plus 4 is 11, that's 911. So 811 and 911, or 11.8 and 911. It's right here. Again, here it goes again. Now look at this. Total confirmed. Okay, this is the most recent that I saw just earlier today. 45,206. Both of these are 911. So this is 1118. Remember that? I've showed you many times. If you add 1 plus 8 is 9. 119, or 1 plus 8 is 9. 119, which is 911 backwards. Then look at this. 4 plus 5 plus 2 is 11. So if you have 11 and 6 upside down and backwards, it's 911. I mean, here we go. We have 811, 911, 911. And we have so many things. I can't even get into all of it, really. And those aren't even the real numbers. In fact, Zero Hedge, I read Zero Hedge quite often. It's online. And they have really good articles in different ways. Of course, it's not completely 100% truth on everything. Of course, a certain amount of it's still predictably programming and everything, which is fine because I'm able to learn from what they're saying. Whether it's real or not, we don't know. But whether it's all real or not, it's what they're predictably programming people. So, but what they showed days ago when this really broke out, was February 1st. This is on a huge platform that's like Facebook in China. And it was showing the numbers from February 1st, okay? They were showing this many infected, 154,000 infected. These ones presumably affected. These ones, these people here, this number here, I should say, this number here was how many recovered, and this how many dead, is what these in Chinese say, I think. This is how many dead. Well, the next day, the numbers were completely changed to this many and this many. I mean, it went from 24,589 dead to the very next day on February 2nd, 304. Excuse me. That is times 100 almost. In fact, it's the next day. If you were to follow these numbers to the next day, it would be closer to this number times 100. Okay? So I'm saying minimum, these are times 10, these false numbers. And like I said, if you shut down right now it's probably more, but at least it's 400 million people, then that means you're going to have more than 1,000 deaths. deaths. I mean, are you kidding? Its logic just shows that. And with all the other evidence of people dropping dead and thousands of bodies, which are already showing that the death rate is more than 1,000 because it's thousands of bodies in the body bags. I mean, get real. Wake up, people. I mean, you need to realize this is coming to your doorstep if it hasn't already come to your doorstep. I'm just telling you, I'm warning you, and I'm saying Jesus is the only way out of this. I'm just warning you because I care about you. I'm not afraid one bit. I mean, I believe in Psalms 91. Read Psalms 91 if you know what I believe. And I trust God with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength. You need to do the same. I'm begging you to come to Jesus. And if you don't know him, come to him. If you know him, get strong with him. Get up close to him. Listen to him. He knows the answers and he can protect you. And he'll eventually, very soon, take the faithful off this planet, away from all this horrible stuff that's on the way. We're talking about plagues, pestilence, we're talking about war, we're talking about famine, we're talking about so many things that nowhere is going to be safe. Nowhere. Nowhere. The only chance is Jesus. That's it. I'm telling you. So that's my whole motivation for this and sharing this with you, to protect you, to tell you that Jesus is your only life saver, life preserver. He's the only one that can preserve your life in this life and the next life, okay? And then check this out. White House Corona CV Task Force says, don't use your mask now. A stunning and candid comment from the White House CV Task Force. Don't use your mask now because you won't have any left later when you need them. I mean, that's reassuring. If that doesn't show you that what their plans are, I don't know what does. Okay, and then here we go. This just came out here yesterday or going into today. These local articles, not national. There might be something national, but I'm not seeing much national. These are local articles. So close to 200 Georgia residents are being monitored for coronavirus. 3 people in North Dakota are being monitored for any symptoms of coronavirus. Last time I looked at it this morning, they showed on that one particular false website, but they were showing 13. It is growing, and now these are breaking out. And I have a prediction that more will come out by a lot more. Maybe there'll be the kind of a marker of these starting to come out at around Valentine's Day, going into Valentine's weekend. This is going to start kicking off here. I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is on the way here, and it's spreading like wildfire. It really is. And we don't know the full effects. I mean, people are being knocked out, falling down dead. I mean, again, I'm not afraid. I'm concerned for many people that don't know Jesus, that don't have, his power, don't have his protection, which I have. I mean, there's no perfection in life completely. I've been sick before, things like that, of course. But when it comes to threatening my life, either I stand or I fall. And guess what? If I somehow fall, I'm with Jesus. So the next thing I know. So I'm not worried about it in one bit. And he has every reason for you to put your faith in him. And all this evidence is showing the evil and what they're doing and how this is predictably programmed in your life and in our lives. And Jesus is the antidote to all this. Okay, and I want to talk real quick. There's a list, and I know it was on Steve Quayle's website. I'm probably gonna I'll have a link to that particular list. They call it the Dead Scientist List now, but for years it was called the Dead Doctors List. These are naturopaths. These are all kinds of natural doctors, and then they've since then added scientists to it who've been killed, and for years this has been going on. Probably the last maybe 10 years, maybe 8 to 10 years, I don't know, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. But because they've been planning for this to happen. And these are people who could come up with cures, who would know natural remedies, all that kind of stuff to what's coming. A lot of, I guess, I don't know if they're called virologists or it's something with an E. I can't think of the name, but anyway, that know about viruses and everything and do natural things. Even people who they use other kinds of, drug type of cures and everything. They're being eliminated as well. And this is just a couple examples, 3 examples of people who are being murdered. I mean, there's a long list, and I'm going to have it in the link in the description box. And this is because so people can't come up with answers to these things, these viruses that are being let out. And this is probably not the only one. I think there's others that are going across China right now and other places in the world right now. This is all prophesied in the Bible, by the way. Okay, and then recently, in the last couple of days, the World Health Organization officially named the 2019 novel CV as COVID-19. So CO is corona, vid is, of course, V is virus, and then the I and the D, I forget what it means exactly, but there's reason for all this, okay? And it's just the same code as the other code I basically showed you. So check this out. This is phenomenal. And especially when I saw vid, that's in the egg in iPad Go. It's just so crazy. Check this out. So C, of course, is 3, third letter of the alphabet. O is 15, V is 22, I is 9, D is 4. Okay, break that down even more. 3 plus 1 plus 5 is 9. That's happening quite a bit. I just showed you several places where 3 plus 1 plus 5 is 9. And we had 3 and 15 before already. So 9, 22, 9, 4. Again, 9 is also I, because I is the ninth letter, and I is also looks just like 1. Many ways you can write it. So that's how they look at it. So 9 is 1, 1 is 9. I mean, it's really crazy. But if you keep going, so if 9 is I and I is 1, then it's 120. Or if you just add 9 to either of these numbers, it ends up being 44. Because 9 added to anything, like I said, the same number stays the same, because 9 is a throwaway number when you add it to anything. Okay, so you have 1, 22, 1, 4, and I keep going. This is the same code that was in all this. And look at this vid. See this vid and this code right here? This code right here and vid is all in here. Look at these eggs. Let me go back here. Look at these eggs. VID, 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 VI, and then L is 3, 1 plus 2, and then this is an A, and 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4, and D is 4. So this is the same thing as vid. VID, VID, VID. It's right here, V, and there's 2 I's in D because they're both 9s that can be gotten rid of. They're ultimately all 44, and they're all these different codes. It's really crazy. So vid and 12-2-14 is right here. In all this, in iPad Goat, in the Super Bowl halftime thing I showed you, and it's in Pepsi. This is an egg as well. And ultimately, it's showing many, many things. But check this out as well. Now, I have this circled or rectangled over here as vial. So it's V. I forgot to mention them in my last videos. VI, and then the stand of the Super Bowl trophy is in AL, a vial. And I did it in purple because of Stinky BO. He loves purple, or the ultraviolet or purple, whatever. Vial. Okay, what's a vial? Well, we'll keep going. So this is without the Super Bowl trophy in the middle. They just decided to put the Super Bowl trophy right in the middle of this thing. So it's Super Bowl 54, which is VIL, and VIL, or L, I should say LIV in the normal, because that's 54. But reverse, like I said in my previous videos, reverse is vile, which is another way of spelling VILE. So it's vile, it's cursed, it's bad, right? It's vile. But it's also VI when you put the Super Bowl trophy in here and you just go across, look at it right across without looking at the football at top here, VIAL. So it's a vial. This is crazy. It's a vial, VIL, and then you put the trophy in here and it's VIAL. It's a vial. What's a vial? It's a virus. And you can also have a virus in a vial. But look how vial and virus are the same. Now look at this, okay? A little bit of reduction, a little bit of compression here that they talk about. So you have, this is how these equate. So you got 22, 9, R is 18, which is 1 plus 8 is 9. And then you have 21, and then this 19. Of course, 19 is always 1 because 1, and then you add 9 to, it stays the same. So 1 plus 9 is 10, take away the 0 is 1. Okay. And again, break this down again. 9 plus 9 is 18, so that equals 9. 22, 9, 21, 1. 22, 9, 21 just backwards, 1. They're the same. Do you see this? And then if you just keep going and compressing all of it, it ends up, the next set of compressions, both of them end up being 44. Who's 44? I've been talking about for so many. The 44th Prez, Stinky BO. It's all over the place. And there's 44 right there. Again, I showed D is 4, V is 22, 2 plus 2 is 4. It's right here. I said also right here was 54, but also upside down is 45. So you have 44, the Pres 44, which is Stinky BO, and then like I've showed in many other previous videos, 45 is the 45th president, which is 54 backwards. That's why it's Super Bowl 54, because it's really 45, which is Pres 45, which is Trumple. And this has to do with them both being eliminated in one thing. Okay, and it's also the egg. Here's the egg, the egg, the egg, the Pepsi one, the egg. This is all conception or death and birth. Okay, and this is all in this. But this is ultimately about the death and birth of 44, which is in here. You have IVID or VID or VIAL, which is the same thing. Or this is as well as the same. I mean, it's just... it goes and goes, and it's now, like I said, vial and virus can pretty much be equated to each other. So it's really saying, this whole thing is saying vial virus. So that's why I think they may have released something at the Super Bowl, just like they released something in Wuhan on when people are traveling and going. They may have, with this whole ritual they were doing, they may have released something at the Super Bowl, and then people are coming back home to their different towns, cities, states, and then these, without even knowing it, they're going to start, all these infections are going to start happening weeks later. So I'm saying that's what this is probably might be showing. Okay, I'm making a big grand guess on everything, like I always do. This is my grand guess. GG, which is 77. It's my grand guess. Okay, and I hopefully have some evidence to show you. You decide. Okay, and then here we go. We have a vial of a virus. What a vile virus. That's such a vile virus. You're killing all these people dropping dead. I mean, some of these pictures, if you've seen these, you got to just see them just so you realize what this thing is doing. I mean, people are passing out in produce. People are passing out on the street, passing out in every which way you can think of. I mean, just walking, and a lot of them didn't even have masks. It happened before they even realized what's going on. And it was very quick, a lot quicker than they're saying. Okay, and then notice how these vials are purple and ultraviolet and purple and pink. It's crazy. Like I showed before, many times. Obama, Stinky BO, the AC, he's going to graduate. That's why the tassel is in the back and it comes to the front. He's going to graduate from being a Prez to the AC. And his tassel, which is ultraviolet, is pointing to the dragon right here. And he's acting like he's laughing in a sense, but no, he's really eating the egg that's cracking. The gloves, the white gloves on his hands, why would he have white gloves? Is because they're symbolizing an egg that's cracking. He's the dragon trying to devour the child that's in the egg. And he has a pink chair, and these are pink. This just happens to be pink and purple. And then an ultraviolet tassel that's really pointing to the dragon, which is showing he's really the dragon trying to eat the child, which is in the egg. And later in iPad Goat, it shows the child in the egg with praying hands, which is the Christian, a man-child that was going to be born into heaven, and the dragon's hanging around trying to eat him, and he's looking in the head of Ludovic, the egg-headed character, and he doesn't see him because he's gone. Okay, and he slinks away. Okay, this is all, but the Antichrist is still going to be revealed right at that time, because the man-child's taken up, and then the Antichrist is, in a sense, born on this earth, in a sense, or revealed by Obama being revealed. Okay, this is crazy. So we have a pink chair, we have pink, and then we have and I've showed how many times he is pink and purple. Obama's pink and purple so many ways. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm asking for help again. As I really, again, I don't like to do this, but it's what the Lord's calling me to do. I'm asking for help for, first, like I said, for prayer. I need prayer really badly. I ask for prayer anytime you can think of it. I beg you to pray for me and my family. We're being attacked all the time with new things. I've just been feeling dizzy at times lately, and I'm wondering what that is. It's just crazy. It's always something new, something. I'm still having a little bit issues with sleeping. I'm trying to deal with that, but the Lord is like giving me some good days here and there, and it's a long story, but I thank you for your prayers. As we're just being attacked in a lot of different ways for sharing this stuff. I thank you for sharing these videos, especially this one. Please, my latest videos, please share my last set of videos. So many, every video I do, there's really important stuff in each one, whether the dates are correct or not. I'm not really talking about dates this time too much or anything. this is what I wanted to share. I really feel led to share this. So please help me because I'm stuck. Help this boy. He needs some help here, please. Help this boy doing these videos. I asked for your financial support. This is what the Lord has me doing right now, and I think we're so close. It's ridiculous. These things are about to really hit the United States, I believe, in big ways, and it's already hitting the world. If you're in other parts of the world, it's coming to you probably. So, but I really thank you for anything you can let go and help me financially. I appreciate it. My link is in the description box for PayPal. Just really appreciate that. And just I thank you for blessing. I thank you, and I ask you for blessings in your life. I just thank you for what you're doing by watching these videos, sharing these videos, praying, and pray for the victims of all this. Pray for the people who are in the middle of all this. This is insane. This is really crazy. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your prayers, sharing these videos. Thank you for some financial support if you can give it. In Jesus' name, thank you for opening your eyes and your heart to the Lord, because He's your only help. He's your only escape out of all this. This is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.